the biggest we will start with is Exxon Mobil. It's the world's largest petrochemicals company. It is involved with exploration, production and retail of crude oil, petroleum products and natural gas. It's headquartered in Irving in Texas and has a whopping market cap of $350 billion, a PE ratio of 21.75 and a dividend yield of 3.5%. Now, Exxon Mobil used to be the biggest company in the world. You can see from the share price there, it has bubbled around. Obviously, all these businesses we're going to talk about are extremely influenced share price wise by the daily movements in the oil price, so they are fairly volatile. Exxon Mobil, tell us more about it.
Yeah, look, as you said, it's the largest company. It was the largest company a while back. It's certainly in the oil sector still the largest company. It's upstream and downstream, so it actually do retail gas stations, etc., to the market as well, to the consumer, to the end consumer. So that helps them as well through difficult times like now. If you saw the graph, I think a year and a half back, it was at a high of about $100 a share. It's now currently at $84 a share. If you take in the latest PE numbers and you put it into a yearly figure, they're probably sitting at a PE multiple about 35, 36. These guys are at least still making money, and just shows you the big guys, big balance sheets, strong balance sheets, and then they're probably having some of the best assets. So share price not that much down against some of the other peers, which will become marginal at lower prices. So a bit of a defensive play in the oil market, and you're probably not going to see great upside from these levels if the oil price stays where it is at the moment, but it's a defensive one.
So to put things into perspective, I think these guys are responsible for about 3 to 4% of oil supply globally. They are more than double the size of any of their closest competitors. I think Shell is about 180 billion in market cap. What about the story of scale here? Because they've got so much in production, maintaining that kind of production is obviously extremely capital intensive, exploration is a big part of their business, and being able to consistently find that oil.
Yeah, I think that's something that with lower oil prices are probably being cut back by most guys. So these guys can probably still do some because they're still profitable. The smaller guys are certainly going to struggle, but as said, they've in the last year or two, they've certainly struggled to get some new barrels of oil per day into their numbers, and that's a bit of a concern for investors out there. But at least they're keeping up with old production, and they'll still do some exploration, where some of the others will probably have no money to do that.
And now, how involved are Exxon in the actual fracking world that we've seen in the US? Because it is a US-based company, even though they have assets all over the world. Natural gas is obviously used for a lot of power generation in the US. It releases about 1/3 the emissions that coal does, so it certainly is quite attractive. How involved are Exxon in the fracking boom that we've seen?
I think they are a big player on that front, and they certainly developed some of the newer fracking technologies, etc., with the other guys. But we will have to see how costly these fracking operations are. Some people are saying it's come down to $40 a barrel where we now. Some people say we need more than $60 a barrel for that game to still exist, and most of those guys to exist. These guys should have some of the better assets. I don't know the numbers out of my head on what the prices are on their fracking. And as you said, the gas side is very interesting, because I mean the Americans actually run mostly on gas, some of their households, etc. And that's a nice business. It's almost like a utility type of business.
Exactly. Hot or not on Exxon?
Yeah, I'm going to go hot, because these guys got a balance sheet, and we think oil prices are still too low for if you have a long-term view.
Okay. Well, my opinion on the oil price is different to yours, so I think it's a great business and it's done great things, but unfortunately I'm not as bullish on the long-term oil price, and I think it's going to be quite a wild ride going forward. So I'm not going to be hot on Exxon Mobil.